So let me stray, please guide my way onto the path of my being. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, I'm calling your name. Oh, Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk on your favorite channel, Huda TV. I'm your host, Arkham Rashid. Anger is something that, if not contained and controlled properly, can be detrimental to your health and to your relationship with people. Sometimes when we're angry, we say and do things that we don't mean, and later on often regret. On tonight's episode, we will discuss some of the causes and effects of anger and different ways in which we can manage our anger. So I'm going to start off as usual by letting my guests introduce themselves, and then we will begin our discussion, inshallah. If I can start with my right brother, if you can give me your name, where you're from, and just a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Ali Omar Ahmad Al-Ghazali. I'm Egyptian and I'm 20 years old.
Alright, welcome to the show, Ali, and welcome back to the show actually, because you've been here before, so glad to have you back here on the show. Brother, if you can give me your name, where you're from, and just a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Sulaiman Bari from Guinea-Conakry, and I'm a student here in Cairo.
At Al-Azhar University.
Yeah.
Alright, Sulaiman, I want to welcome you back to the show. I'm glad to have you here again for Let's Talk. Brother, if I can get your name, where you're from, and just a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
I'm Nazif Abubakar from Nigeria. I'm here in Cairo to study.
Alright, welcome back to the show, Nazif. You've been on here with me before also. Brother, if I can have your name, where you're from, and just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Muhammad Yathrib Musa. I'm a student here in university, and I'm Nigerian. I'm 20 years old too. So.
Alright, Muhammad, I want to welcome you to the show, and this is your first time here with me on...
It was actually not my first time, but I've been here with Malik actually.
Okay, alright, so you've been on this show before.
Yes.
You know how it works. Okay, so I want to start off by asking you guys, what are some of the common causes of anger?
Okay, first of all, we have to understand that anger is a very natural thing. It happens to everyone. It's not something evil or anything. The Prophet ﷺ was the best of people, was the best of example. He used to get angry. But Islam teaches us to how to manage and how to deal with our anger, and not
not let it overcome
us. We control it, not let it control us. Yeah, it's the causes are many. Like it's natural. Sometimes the causes are the people around you. Sometimes the family, the society problems. There's many causes of anger.
But it's a very good thing that you pointed out that anger itself is natural. It's nothing that's evil. You know, it's in everybody. Some people take longer to get angry. Some people get angry right away. But it's a natural thing that's inside of them.
If you never get angry, that's not a healthy thing. You know? It's not a healthy thing.
Right.
You should see a doctor.
If I can get your ideas, what do you think are some of the causes of anger?
You know, like anger, like as he said, is natural to human being, but it just like depends too, because some people like, if they become angry, they just become angry by quickly.
Yeah, right, they get angry really fast. Yeah.
But the angers are many different kind of ways. But some of the angers do like just by like it's different between the people. Some people so like they have something, they are natural.
Yeah.
Anger like is different. Not like maybe like you and me, or we are here. We have something. If someone like do us, we always gonna become an anger.
Yeah.
But some things like maybe for me, if you do me something else, like for my part, I'm gonna be anger. But for you, it's normal.
Yeah, I understand. So basically, what you're saying is that some things make certain people angry, whereas other things make other people angry.
Yeah.
So something can make me angry that won't make somebody else angry.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
You see, that's why like Islam to teach us many things about how to solve that, all of that kind of problem.
All right, we're going to get to that. If I can get your guys' thoughts on common causes of anger.
Okay, as we all know, as we say, anger is a natural thing. There's no human being on earth who doesn't get angry, because it is just, it doesn't whenever you are, you have to feel angry at some time or point in your life. We can see Prophet Musa alayhi salam, the best, when Allah said to him, وَاسْتَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي, I'm the one who nurtured you. But we see when he came to his people and found them worshipping idol or calf, he threw the slate aside out of anger. So anger is a natural thing. And among the causes or factors that contribute to people getting anger is argument. If you engage in argument in trivial things, because some people also want everything to be on their way.
Yeah.
So if something doesn't go their way, they get angry. They get angry and they become furious. So, and also there are high expectations. When you want something to happen, you are expecting something to happen, and it happened. It doesn't lead to your expectation. This also can trigger your anger.
Can cause you to get angry.
Yeah. So we have to think rationally instead of emotionally, and to return everything to Allah and to control our anger, not to get angry easily, to control our emotions.
All right, those are some very good points you mentioned there. Brother, if I can go to you, Muhammad, can you give me some common causes of anger?
Yeah, like our brother said before, anger is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a human being, and every human being, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him different kind of emotions, for psychological emotions. For example, human can get angry, fear, jealous, for example, love, hate, for example. So anger is something natural from God. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have give every mankind and emotions. So anger is one of them. And mankind, every man has this kind of emotions in him, but just depend of the kind of conditions and circumstances. So someone can get angry because he thinks he's more important than someone. For example, thinking arrogance. Someone will think he's important.
Yeah.
And if someone did something for him and he thinks that this someone didn't deserve to do something for me because I'm more important than him, so this thing can really trigger an anger. And like the brother said before, arrogance, not arrogance, arguments. Arguments is one of the major causes of anger, because if someone always get engaged in arguments and always argue with people, so definitely he's going to be angry. Because any arguments, or if someone is in argument, he always wants things to be the way he wants. Like he always wants him to be right.
Yeah.
So if he's not right and the other person is right, so definitely he's going to be angry. So I think these are the major causes of anger.
All right, thank you for those sharing your thoughts on some of the causes. Now, there's one point all you guys established together, which was that anger is natural in human beings.
Yes.
Everybody gets angry, and the main thing to do is that to control our anger, because everybody gets angry.
Yeah, exactly.
And for that, I want you guys to take a look at this short video clip by Sheikh Noman Ali Khan. If we can have that video.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Get angry. Little things at work, little things at the home. Easily the wife gets angry at the husband. Very easily the husband gets angry at the wife. Little things make you angry at the children. Learn to swallow your anger. Become a person that perseveres through these things. If little things annoy us, if little things get angry at make us upset, how do we expect Allah Azza wa Jalla to forgive our big sins? We expect from Allah that He doesn't get angry at us. And yet here we are exacting anger at every little thing. It shows a lack of restraint. So وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. And the next attribute, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Very difficult. They forgive people out of love. Not ghafirin. Aafin. Ghafir is someone who forgives. But aaf is someone who forgives out of love. When you forgive someone and they offend you and you forgive them, first of all, most people say, brother, I know that was a nice khutbah, and I know I should forgive, but my situation is special. You don't understand, this guy was really messed up. He doesn't deserve forgiveness. By the way, you never forgive someone who deserves it. By definition, forgiveness means to give it to somebody who doesn't deserve it. And you're not forgiving for them. You're not you're not giving them forgiveness because they want it, or because they deserve it. You're doing it for yourself because you want to be in this list. You want to be among these people that are considered muttaqeen. That's why they forgive people. Especially those who work for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. If you volunteer at a masjid or at an Islamic organization, especially in the situation of family, there's a lot of feuds. There's a lot of things that come up and people get friction among each other. This is where shaitan wants friction. Inna shaytana yanzahu baynakum. Among yourselves, shaitan will no doubt, he will try to cause dissent among you. And these are the times we have to remember وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. You know, the Sahaba understood this really beautifully well. Hassan radiallahu anhu was one time, he's sitting there and his servant brings him drink. And when he was pouring the drink, he dropped it. He dropped the drink. Of course this upset the Sahabi radiallahu anhu. So immediately he recited this ayah. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. Those who suppress their anger. Those who swallow their anger. Hassan says, radiallahu anhu, قَذَمْتُ غَيْظِ. I've swallowed my anger. He heard the ayah, he said, okay, I'm not upset anymore. The servant continues to recite, he says, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And they lovingly forgive people. He says, عَفَوْتُكَ, I forgave you too. Then he recites the end of the ayah, Allah says, وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. It is Allah who loves those who excel in their religion, who excel in their consciousness of Allah. He says, go, you're a free man. He set him free. Just because he heard the ayah. These ayat are supposed to exact change in our behavior.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, I'm calling.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed that short little video clip by Brother Noman Ali Khan. I want to start off by asking my guests their thoughts on that video. So Brother Ali, if you can start by sharing your thoughts.
Okay, mashallah, Sheikh Noman Ali Khan is a brilliant speaker, and
he definitely
not
is.
much to to add to what he said. But I just wanted to. What really I liked about his video is the story that he mentioned about Al-Hassan and how he forgave his slave, and it makes you wonder it fascinates me how the Sahaba were very responsive to the Quran. They hear the ayah and they respond to it straight away. And also the Shaykh highlighted that shaitan there's a very strong relationship between shaitan and anger. So indulging in haram stuff and keeping the shaitan closer to you, you raise the chance of you getting angry
quicker,
even for the slightest of reasons. But when the shaitan is around, you get angry easier. As the Prophet ﷺ said that shaitan khuliqa min nar. The shaitan was created from fire.
Yeah.
And sorry, he said first that anger is from shaitan.
Yeah.
Anger is from shaitan, and shaitan is made out of fire. And then he said, whenever you get angry, you should make wudu, because wudu is like water, and water puts out the fire. The Prophet ﷺ put it in a very simple way that even a little kid would understand. Very simple. Shaitan is made out of fire, so when I get angry, I just make wudu to put
fire out from by water.
Yes, subhanallah.
Brother, if I can get your thoughts on the video.
And the things that I get there is really to affect me, like as he said, like he told the guy, like, and then directly he slow his anger. As you know, like there's some people, like they are quickly come up like to their anger, quickly they become in anger. But most of them too is quickly their anger can be slow.
They can get rid of their anger faster.
Yeah, exactly. But some of them is not easy. It's not easy to be anger, but it's difficult to calm down. You see, so now to just only like the people that are like really sincere to God, like if they really, even if they are quickly anger or how to say difficult, but if they just someone, if they become an anger, if like really someone come in, how to say, like tell them. As we know, like if someone like become in anger, there's a one word like to say to or to come in to remind your brother, to tell him as the Prophet said, tell him like, like to make his mind to come cool. That's, mashallah, is something great. And then, so, like even there's a one guy who was come to the Prophet. He was traveling, going somewhere. He came to the Prophet. He said the Prophet to give him advice. The Prophet said to him, "Don't be angry," because he was told that, as we know, like if you are going like as a good like scholar to tell about advice, if he told you only one word, you're gonna think that he's gonna tell you, he's gonna give you, he's gonna talk to you and more and to advise you, But just only the Prophet gave.
Okay, I'm just gonna have you hold your thought there just for a second. Sorry, we have a phone call coming in from Ismail from Sierra Leone. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, brother Ismail?
Oh yes, how are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. I want to thank you for calling in and joining our conversation here at Let's Talk.
Yeah. I thank you for having me on the phone. I really enjoy the program that you're talking about, discussion like it's very, very much important, especially for us, the youth. Anger management is something that is very much difficult because there are so many things that make us become angry, Many reasons, jobs, lack of employment, sometimes even provocations, being bullied by people at school. So there are so many reasons. So I do believe that for us to be able to manage anger, it requires a lot of patience, Like one of the speakers there has been expressing the idea of what's the program. A man came to the Prophet and asked the Prophet to advise him. The Prophet said, "Don't be angry." He came again and he told him, "Don't be angry." He came again and he told him the same thing. So anger is like one of my teachers actually used to say that it's only one step that keeps you away from danger. Just like the word, if you remove A and you put B, it becomes danger. So anger is just very close to danger. So what people should do is they have to consult people who have experience about certain problems because they have different emotions. Some people are angry for because they don't have jobs. Yes, that's true. Again, there are so many people outside there who do not have jobs. So if you are angry for something, for a particular situation, you don't know how to address it. It's better for you to go to someone who has the experience. Ask them to help you. Today we have a lot of problems in our families, because of food prices, a lot of things, schools with our children. All these things sometimes will keep us becoming angry. But what we should do, we have to always know that there are also people who are suffering the same situation, but you have to be patient. If you are not patient, you go out of track, and when you go out of track, you will be in danger. So I'm so happy to follow this program, and I'm sure that the people who listen to this program will listen to the advice, and then they will make use of this particular program to better their lives. Thank you very much.
All right. I want to thank you once again for calling and joining our program here and sharing your thoughts. So getting back to brother.
Thank you. As like the hadith I was start to mention, the brother to mention that hadith, like as when the guy came to the Prophet to tell the Prophet, advise me. So the Prophet told him, don't be angry.
Yeah, don't get angry.
Don't get angry. And he returned back. He come back, and the Prophet told him the same, and the same, and then he was told that how. But that's one only is can it's not like clear. It's a big, because as we know, like how to say, if kidhb only can, if someone like lie only, it can affect some problems between countries. So if someone tells you, just give you some advice, even if one thing, just try to practice it, Just if your brothers are telling you advice, don't ignore it. Just obey, because you don't know how his life's going. Anger, as we know, is something. Just sometimes come like emotion. Some people like their high emotion, but some of them too is different.
Each person has his own tolerance level.
Like the one who's really like sincere to God, the people who's always like, how to say, always like remembering about God. So if you are always like remembering about God, to worship God, so you, even if you become an anger, it's easier
for you to get rid of that anger.
Yeah. To advise you and to talk to you to slow it down.
All right. Thank you for your thoughts on that video, brother. If I can get your thoughts on that.
Thank you. One quote that comes to my mind is the saying of Ali radiallahu anhu. He said, "Al-ghadab awaluhu junun wa akhiruhu nadam." Anger, the first of anger is madness, and the end of it is regret. Absolutely, anger is kind of like drunk. When you're drunk, you lose your consciousness, and later on, when you recover your consciousness, you regret what you said. So we have to be very careful, because anger affects us. Firstly, the person who is angry, it affects you more than the person that you're directing your anger at. For example, Mark Twain has a really nice quote that I like very much. He said, "Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than the thing on which it is poured." That's true. When you are angry and you are full of anger, it affects you physically and mentally, because your heart is full of disease, as if you go to the store and you bought something like poison for rat, and instead of giving that to a rat infestation, and you end up consuming that poison. So anger is like that. And also you affect the member of your family or people who are around you, especially the member of your family, because like your children, when you're angry or when you're angry, whatever they do, so you release your anger on them. Yeah, and also your anger has reached a lot of family and has got a lot of people lost their jobs. So we have to be very careful to let it go of the past and to concentrate on the future.
All right, thanks for your thoughts on that. Brother, if you can share some of your thoughts on the video.
Oh yeah, sure. It was actually a great video, and I really enjoyed it. And I just want to comment on what the brother said before, the hadith that he brought, that once a man come to the Prophet ﷺ and said, "Advise me," and the Prophet ﷺ said, "Don't be angry," or "Don't get angry," and that man continue repeating the same question to the Prophet ﷺ, thinking that just the Prophet ﷺ just tell me don't get angry. So he's just thinking like, this is very late for me, I need something more. But the Prophet ﷺ keep telling him, don't get angry. Why? Because anger is what we should say is the root of all evil. If someone is angry, he can do anything. He can kill, he can do many of things. So the Prophet ﷺ tell him this, don't get angry. Because don't get angry first, it's so that you can do all these bad things before. You can kill, you can tell someone bad things, you can say stuff. So, and from this hadith we'll get that the Prophet ﷺ, he's telling us, don't get angry. So what are the ways of that will make someone to not get angry at the first time? So the ways that they can make you not to get angry at the first time is giving excuses to people around you, to give excuses to your brother and sisters in Islam, and considering and realizing the human nature that everybody gets angry, like we said before, and everyone got emotions, everyone gets angry and jealous and love and fear and stuff. So you realize these things and you realize these emotions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, because even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam get angry, because there is once the mother of mu'minin, Aisha radiallahu anha, she's not the one. One of the Prophet ﷺ wives. She's bringing something. She's bringing a food for him, a delicious food in a plate. Aisha radiallahu anha get jealous and broke the plates. But what the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't get angry. He have all the right to get angry because his wife is bringing beautiful food for him to eat. But Aisha radiallahu anha get jealous and broke the plates. But listen to what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said, غارت أمكم, because that happened at the presence of the Sahaba, at the companions of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said, غارت أمكم, your mother got jealous, and he just picked the parts of the broken plates and said غارت أمكم. So he didn't get angry. So we realize in this story that even if you're angry, but don't fulfill your anger. if of course it can get angry, but just try not to fulfill your anger, because it was reported in authentic hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was saying, "Man kadama ghayzahu wa huwa yastati'u an yunfizahu, نادى الله سبحانه وتعالى ناداه الله سبحانه وتعالى يوم القيامة على رؤوس الخلائق وقال له اختر من الحور العين ما شئت." Whoever controls his rage and he was being able to fulfill it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call him in the day of resurrection among all the creations, and he will say, choose from Hur al-Ain whichever you want. So look at this, subhanallah. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ, like the beautiful ayat that the Sheikh brought. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ, those who suppress their anger and pardon people. So this is really a beautiful thing.
All right, thanks for sharing your thoughts on that. Now there's two things. Firstly, I just wanted to comment about that hadith you guys mentioned when the traveler came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him for advice, and he told him, don't get angry. And scholars of hadith say that there's various hadith where somebody comes to the Prophet ﷺ and asks for advice, and he advises him with a different piece of advice. Sometimes he tells people, don't steal, or he tells them, don't do this. Why is there a difference here? Why is he telling some people not to do this and others not to do something else? And scholars of hadith mention that the Prophet ﷺ used to look at what that person, what problems does that person have. So if somebody gets angry very quickly, he would tell him, don't get angry.
Exactly,
If somebody has a problem with stealing things, he tells him, don't steal. Now I want to also mention some of the causes of anger, but before that we're going to take a short break, so stay tuned.
Perfect my life, and I praise. Do you know what Islam is? It's a way of life for all. It is taught in the Quran, big and small. Do you know what Islam is? It's a way.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Abdurrahim McCarthy, coming to you from the studios in London, where I'm filming my new TV show Tarbiyah for Huda TV. In Tarbiyah, we're going to take an in-depth look into how the Muslim makes Tarbiyah of himself, how he educates himself and trains himself according to the Quran and to the authentic Sunnah of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're going to see how the Quran and how the Sunnah of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam trained the Muslim, and we're going to see the impact that this Tarbiyah had on the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, that made them the greatest nation known to mankind. Tarbiyah to revive ourselves and to revive our ummah. Tarbiyah only on Huda TV.
Of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Imagine a day moving our way. Suffice to say we're not here to stay. The games we play, the fuss we make, the reason for living.
This is the eternal journey. It's a series of lectures, inshallah ta'ala, hopefully trying to give and shed some light on the topic of our journey. All of us have a unique journey which we will go through, which is part of being a human being and living. We are inshallah going to start from the very beginning, prior to any of creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the way through to the end, where we will either be told to go to Jannah or to the Jahannam.
وَأَقِيمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِي, and establish the prayer so that we may.
Islam stands for justice in every form possible. So you find that there's a form of justice and fairness with oneself, with everybody else, to establish fairness and justice, وَلَوْ عَلَى أَنفُسِكُمْ, even upon your own self.
There's no fitna on earth like the fitna of Dajjal.
This is the end of our eternal journey.
Imagine a day moving away. Suffice to say, we're not here to stay. The games we play, the fuss we make, the reason for living is made clear that day. The angels stand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Now, before the break, I was commenting on the hadith the brother mentioned about when the Prophet ﷺ gave advice to the traveler, don't get angry. And we discussed why in different scenarios and situations the Prophet ﷺ gave different people different pieces of advice. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys was different causes of anger. And what I want to do, I'm just going to mention some, and if you guys want to comment on it and share your thoughts, feel free to stop me and add your thoughts to it. So the first thing I wanted to mention was witnessing poor anger management. Now what I mean by that is when a child is growing up, his parents constantly get angry. So this is what he grows up seeing. He sees his parents, not controlling their anger, and they get mad very quickly. So that's the first one. The second one is mismanaged stress. What I mean by that is they direct stress from something else. So it can be from a job or from outside their household needs or outside their household works, and they direct that anger and stress into anger at their relatives or their family members, which causes problems in a lot of families, because somebody might be facing something stressful at work and he'll take that stress and turn it into anger at home, with his family. You want to share something on that? Or?
No.
Okay. If you guys want to share something, feel free to add it.
Okay.
The other thing I have here is being taught that expressing emotions is unacceptable. So a lot of families, what they do, they teach their children not to express any sort of emotion. And what this does is it builds anger inside of a child as he's growing up. Yeah. Would you like to share something on that?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. Most of the reasons that the people get angry for is worldly things. Because the people, unfortunately, Muslims as well, they become so drowning in this dunya and so into dunya stuff, and they forget about akhirah and they forget about Allah. So they get so emotional and angry over dunya things. So my advice to all the Muslims is that the closer to you to Allah, the closer you are to Allah, you get to Allah, and the more you detach yourself from dunya, the less you get angry, unless it's something for the sake of Allah. You get angry for the sake of Allah only. Like the Prophet ﷺ, most of the time he used to get angry for the sake of Allah, not for the sake of other,
something that relates to this world.
Relates to dunya.
You wanted to share your thoughts on that also? Go ahead.
Okay, I used to be a kid teacher back in Nigeria, and I noticed one kid among the students who was always angry, and he reacted or overreacted to small things. And whenever a child talked, he said, "Shut up! Come on!" He was very uncontrolling. So I got bored about it. I called his mom and asked her to tell me about her punishment technique. And she told me that she lashed him out all the time. Wow. And she used to, she never paid any credit for his action. And so the boy copied all things from her. So as a parent, we have to take extra careful about what we display, what kind of behavior we display in the presence of our kid, because we are the mirror of our children and we are modeling them. Whatever you do, whether knowingly or unknowingly, your children are copying from it directly, and you have to be very careful about that, because by doing that you are polluting the whole community. If you spoil your child and he goes to spoil some people around him, and it goes on like that, because anger is contagious. Naturally, if I'm angry here and I come and miss you and sat with you, you also just I will pass this anger to you. So we have to be very careful the way we display our behavior in front of our children, because we are their mirror. And so also, the teachers also have to be very careful what they say and what they do in front of their children.
All right, thanks for that. Not the last thing. The next thing was a lack of sleep. When you don't get enough sleep, sometimes it causes you to get angry. And the last thing I wanted to mention from some of the causes that cause anger is hunger. When you're hungry, and this is
an angry man is an angry man.
Angry man.
Especially if you're coming from work or school, you know, it's like no.
This is a personal favorite, because I've noticed every single time that I'm hungry and things are just stressful around me, I start getting angry very quickly, and over things that normally I wouldn't have got angry over. So something could be simple, and I'll start getting angry, and I realize it's only because I'm hungry. I'm just getting grumpy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes someone is hungry, like you said, sometimes someone is hungry or he's self-stretched, then he can be angry. But we just gotta learn how to control this anger and how to search for the cures. For example, like the brother said in ablution, and there's this Mufti, he's saying Mufti Ismail Mink. I was listening to him like 3 weeks ago for a lecture in anger. He was saying, if you're angry, just stick to the ground and don't try to fly. What that does mean, like stick to the ground and don't try to fly. Like if you're standing, then sit, and if you're sitting, then lay down. And this usually helps in anger. And the dua, there are many du'as that the Prophet ﷺ taught us to say if we are angry. And there are many, for example, there is this dua, I can't actually recall it, but there are many du'as that the Prophet ﷺ said. And remembering the reward of Allah, like if you're angry and you're patient, you're not just patient for nothing. If you're angry at someone and you can be able to do something to him, and you're patient, that patient that you did is not for nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is definitely going to reward you.
So the whole time you're being patient, you're being rewarded.
Yeah, the whole time you're being patient, you're being rewarded. So that's the thing. You just think that I'll be rewarded if I'm patient. Every time I'm patient, I'll be rewarded. So this will help exactly for you to manage your anger, I think.
Yeah, that's a very good point there. If I can go aside, brothers, can you tell me Islam's views on anger?
Islamic scholars, when they thought about it, they said there is 3 types of anger. The first type is, they called it al-ghadab al-mubah, which is natural anger, or halal anger, you can say, normal anger.
Okay.
And there's al-ghadab al-madhmoom, which is disliked, unpreferable anger. Okay, that can be a sin. And there is al-ghadab al-mahmud, which is a praiseworthy anger or good anger, you can say. The first one is the natural one. It happens to all of us. You get stuck in traffic, you're late for school, or you get frustrated over things, you get angry, normal. And it's not, it's not a sin for you just to get angry. As we said, anger it's not evil, it's normal. Second type is al-ghadab al-madhmoom, is when people get angry and they overreact, let the ghadab, the anger, get the best of them, and they start oppressing others, or transfer that anger to other people, into other action, form of other actions as well. This is the ghadab al-madhmoom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like. The last one, al-ghadab al-mahmud, and this is the beautiful ghadab, the beautiful anger. I know it sounds a bit contradicting, but it does exist, and you can see this clearly if you look into the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In many incidents, the Prophet ﷺ used to get angry for the sake of Allah. Get angry for the sake of Allah. One of the incidents is that one of the women stole something, and the punishment for stealing in Islam. So she was supposed to they're supposed to cut her hand off. So the Sahaba felt sorry for her, and they asked one of the Sahaba to intercede for her, and that was Usama ibn Zayd. He was very close to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ loved him so much, and they said to him, go intercede for the woman and ask the Prophet ﷺ to forgive her. And when he did so, the Prophet ﷺ got so angry, and the Sahaba said that we can see the anger on his face. His face used to turn red when he got angry, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he said the famous saying. He said, "Wallahi, I swear by Allah, if Fatima, my daughter, was to steal something, I would cut off her hand." Also, in many other incidents, one of them, that the Prophet ﷺ once saw a man wearing a golden ring. So he took it off. He took it off his finger, his hand, and he got so angry. He got so angry. But again, when we say that the Prophet ﷺ got so angry, it doesn't mean that he would shout on people or he would like beat people up. He would just get angry for the sake of Allah. When he sees someone violating Allah's right or violating Allah's commands, he would get angry, but he would try his best to control his anger. Like the Sahabi that came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said to him, "Oh, the Prophet ﷺ, I kissed a woman and I want Allah to forgive me." And the Prophet ﷺ got so angry because of that deed. So he didn't shout at him, he didn't, slap him. He just turned away, he turned his face. Because he if he doesn't turn his face, he's going to get more angry. So this is also...
And it also shows the person and the people that are there, how much the Prophet ﷺ hated these acts. That,
exactly.
If he didn't get angry at all and the person came to him and said this, and like, oh, no problem, then it doesn't show the heaviness of the sin.
Yes, so he turned his face, and then the man came again. What do I do? Then eventually he told him to he told him that he asked him, have you prayed Asr with us? Then the man goes, yes, I prayed Asr Jama'ah with you. Then he said, well, Salat al-Asr forgives the sins. Or Salawat inna al-hasanati yudhibna as-sayyi'at. Hasanat wipes out the sayyi'at. So yeah, the Prophet ﷺ got angry for the right reason, and we should, all of us should get angry for the right reason, for the sake of Allah.
What do you think, Suleiman?
That's true.
Yeah, as like talking about here, like if you become angry, just try to control yourself. As there is a ayah say like, وَإِذَا مَا غَضِبُوا وَهُمْ يَغْفِرُونَ. There's some people, especially if you are coming at work, you are driving, especially if you are really tired and you want to reach home, you are hungry too, you think about many things, just all you want to reach home. So sometimes like someone gonna come want to pass you this and this, or some friend like they're just gonna, especially right now the youth, they like to watch football together. This one like this team and this. So the one that, how to say, like if you become in anger quickly, so you have to forgive. The other one, he too, because sometimes you can see like how to say, some guy, both of them, is this one and this one become an anger high quickly. So one of them must calm down.
Yeah. If both people are angry, then things can go bad.
Do not like make something happen like quickly. So like forgiveness too. You have to forgive him. As like God too not gonna live like this. He's gonna return it to you. Because like as we say, like how to say it, nadam.
Regret.
It's a regret. It's like the first time he's gonna feel like mad, but the end you're gonna be like
you're gonna regret it.
You see, it's like something.
Okay, in addition to what Brother Ali said, Prophet ﷺ never got angry on a personal level. He only got angry when Allah's rules were violated. We see when a Bedouin walked into the mosque, and he basically relieved himself. He urinated. Yeah. And the Sahaba were shouting at him, "How could you do that?" And Prophet ﷺ said, "No, don't rush him. Leave him and relieve himself." And later on, he corrected him in a very loving and diplomatic way. And that Bedouin was very pleased and said, "Oh Allah, forgive me and Muhammad only, and don't forgive anyone after that," because he was so fascinated with the way Prophet ﷺ corrected him his mistake. So we should do the same. We should copy the way Prophet ﷺ used to correct people. And also there was one hadith, one man came to the Prophet ﷺ and yanked him here, and he grabbed him by the collar of his, said, "Give me from the wealth that Allah has given you. It is not your wealth and it is not your father's wealth." Prophet ﷺ gave him and said, "Is that enough for you?" And he went, and later on he became a Muslim. So we should do the same. These are our role models, Sahaba and
the Prophet ﷺ.
Yeah, Prophet ﷺ are the best generations, the best role models that the world has ever had. And also we can remember the hadith or the story of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz when he was a Khalifa. He was ruling the great empire at that time. But one day he walked into the mosque, and because of the darkness, he didn't see who was in the mosque. So he stepped on one man who was sleeping at the mosque, and he was his guard. And the man got up angrily, fast and furious, wanting to punch him. And he said, "Are you crazy?" He told the Khalifa that, like the president at this time. Say, are you mad? Are you crazy? You're stepping on people like that? He said, no, I'm not crazy. So the people, his bodyguards, were about to kill that man because he insulted Khalifa, high-ranking person, the most important person at that time. He said, no, it's simple, as simple as that. That she asked me, are you mad? I said, no, that's the end of it. So we should do the same, small things that can make you regret later. Because many people who divorce their wives do so out of anger. And one day in Nigeria, we paid a visit to prison. So, and we asked them, what are the causes that brought them to jail? 99%, I told you, they say they did something out of anger. Yeah, I killed my wife, or I punched the other guy, or I divorced my wife when I was when I was angry. So you have to control yourself, because words is like a poison arrow. When it is out, you can never take it back. Yeah. So you have to be very careful to control your anger. Don't let your anger control you.
Would you like to comment?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment or a little bit of correction in what the two brothers say. Yeah, the Prophet ﷺ, he always get angry in the sake of Allah, but he is a human. He always get angry in personal purposes. But like I said, he just don't fulfill his anger. He don't let himself to fulfill his anger. Of course, Prophet ﷺ can be angry for not sake of Allah. For example, you can do something and he will be angry. Yeah. But he will not fulfill that anger. For example, in the authentic hadith reported by Ibn Mas'ud, radiallahu anhu, there is a time that the Prophet ﷺ distributed his wealth to the people. And some of the people were saying, هَذِهِ قِسْمَةٌ لَمْ يُبْتَغَ بِهِ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ, that this distribution of a wealth that the Prophet ﷺ did is a distribution that he did it not for the sake of Allah. Yeah, this is a personal something. The Prophet ﷺ get angry. He get angry very much. But what did he say? He every time when the Prophet ﷺ get angry, he's just trying to know that anger is from shaitan. Like he was saying, Al-ghadabu jamratun min ash-shaytan yulqiha fi qalbi ibn Adam. That anger is a hot coal from shaitan, and he throws it in the heart of son of Adam. So we always think about that. What did he say when he said that هذه قسمة لم يبتغى به وجه الله? He said, لقد أوذي موسى أكثر من ذلك فصبر. That Musa radiallahu anhu was hurt more than that, and he was patient. So, just for example, anytime that we angry, just try to think about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How did he manage his anger? What are the cures that he gave us to manage our anger? Of course, we can get angry, and of course, we will not say that we will never get angry. But if you're angry, always think and always don't feel that what you need to do when you're angry. Just always control yourself. Like I said, if you sit, if you're standing, then get down. If you're down, then lie down and stop. So that's it. Just always try not to fulfill what you want to do.
Yes.
And just try to think that the thing that someone did to you, is it worth getting angry of? Is it worth getting angry upon or not? Because there are some things, like a lot of times someone will did something to us and it's not worth getting angry upon, but someone will get frustrated and angry.
And another thing is that if we remember when we're about to get angry, that why should I stress myself over something somebody else did?
Exactly.
So if you're doing something to stress me out, why should I stress myself and get angry and ruin my day, whereas I can turn it around and just leave it alone. Don't get angry at all. Just drop it.
And that if you get angry and did something, for example, if you get angry and did something to someone, maybe you take a sin. But if you are patient, then you'll be rewarded. If you just leave him and be patient, then you'll be rewarded. But if you take action, or if you beat him up, or you did something, maybe you take a sin instead of getting a reward. So being patient is better.
All right. I want to thank you guys for joining me here tonight on Let's Talk and sharing your thoughts on anger management. And I also want to thank you, dear viewers, for tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk. I hope you guys benefited from tonight's episode. I also hope you guys take the advice that these brothers shared here with us in the studio, that when you're getting angry, just drop it, so later on you don't regret that anger. Also check out our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/letstalkofficial. And until next time, may God bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How perfect my praise. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah, how perfect you are, Allah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah, how perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, Allah. I'm calling your name, Allah. I call you, I need you, Allahu Akbar, Allah. Your mercy is great.